Doing our research is not just about finding names on a page or on a tree, but really recreating a line to the past that in many cases was severed during the Holocaust, and being able to make that leap and have people connect to their ancestors and their families before the war and reconnect with cousins who may be scattered throughout the world. This is for us a sacred task and also a very satisfying and rewarding one. JewishGen is a website, Jewish Genealogy. It's both databases and also aids for people to find each other, help each other, so it's unique in that sense. It's a JewishGen community. One of the projects that we're working on at the Calico Jewish Genealogy Center at the Museum of Jewish Heritage is a project to restitute, to return books that were stolen from Jewish families and families of other backgrounds during the Holocaust. They were mostly taken from private homes before the war, looted, and at the end of the war they found 10,000 books in one home of one of the most infamous Nazi leaders, Julius Streicher. And they were given back to the Jewish community in Nuremberg, and they in turn gave it to the Nuremberg Library. And 2,000 of them could be identified with the names of the original owners. I had worked on this project for many years ago, and I returned to it. And by garnering volunteers from JewishGen and also from the Leo Baeck Institute, in just a few months, we were able to return over 100 additional books. And the engine of JewishGen is hundreds of volunteers around the world. I believe they were all inspired by a concept called tikkun olam, to repair the world. They wanted to repair the world in their little way, and what they could contribute was to help with the genealogy research to connect the original owners of the book with descendants. And this is a really wonderful way to use the genealogy research in really helping others. What we love about this project is it's not only the return and really the ultimate wonderful repairing of the world by bringing the heritage and the memories of their ancestors, many of whom they did not know, back to these individuals, but the satisfaction of being able to repair the world, these people who assist in the research to correct this terrible injustice. Something that's so interesting about this project is, while it answers questions for people, what was my ancestor like? What were his interests? How did he get this book? It also raises as many questions as it answers. For example, how did it get from my ancestors' hands into what was its journey? Who took it? How did it get saved? And in some cases, the books are hundreds of years old. So the question is, what happened to it from when my ancestor opened it and used it in 1870 to 1942 or 1930 when it was stolen? What was its trajectory? In the case of Amos Giora, who lives here in Salt Lake City, he never knew his grandfather who originally owned the book. In fact, he'd never even seen a picture of him, a photo. He had nothing tangible. What was interesting was not only that he had it, but from what the book was, from what it was about, from how it was cared for, from the inscriptions in it, he could learn about his grandfather, something that was lost otherwise. Just very recently, there was a 103-year-old Holocaust survivor whose book was returned to her herself. Because it's been so many years since the war, there really are very few returns to the survivor herself or to the person who lived in Europe, and this is really special in 2025 to be able to do this. She was given the book in 1930 as a child in Hebrew school as a gift because of her good performance in school. And we don't know yet, but we will know what the circumstances are when it was taken away from her, because she had spoken very little about her experiences during the war to her family. At that moment, when she received the book, she told the family stories that they had never heard before, that they had never known, and now she has opened up after all these years. It was a specific objective early in the war, or prior to the war, to destroy books, to burn them. So this is really a testimony to those books and all the cultural property, cultural heritage that survived. It's in your face, you know, we did it, these are surviving. To return these books is a way of defeating those who tried so hard not only to take away lives, but also to take away history and connection. And so we're reversing that with the ability to restore all of these things to the descendants of those who perished.